Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so we've been planning to do our ignition coils, and we've been back and forth on how we're going to install them in the vehicle. We've considered a lot of options, and here's what we came up with. So in the last video, we had mentioned possibly putting them on the firewall and the reasons why that would be a good idea. So we thought about it, and I actually came up with a couple ideas of how to do a bracket. We were going to build one, which takes time. I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, this is probably an option where I could get something laser cut. So I thought about it and I was like, all right, well, let's just whip something together. So at first I did a bracket that was essentially just a flat piece of plate with a few holes, and it looked like it was going to work, but I couldn't help myself. And after looking at it, I was like, hey, what if you made it thicker? It'd be more rigid. That'd be nice. And then you could cut all these lightweighting holes, so it'd basically, be lighter and stiffer and kind of better. And we bounced it around, and this is what we ended up with. Unfortunately, the place I buy this from, I didn't think they would charge much for all the extra cuts. It turns out that's not true. They actually charge a lot more, so it basically doubled the price to put all these lightweighting cuts. But on the plus side, it's lightweight, so at least we got that going for us. So check this out. Now, I don't have the coils modeled, so you'll have to use your imagination. But let me see. I'll show you what the coils look like for those that aren't sure. Okay, so this is what our coils look like. This is actually the ones we purchased. They're from MSD, they're IGN1As, and these things are super hot. In fact, since I got this open, you can actually see here they measure, this is millijoules, so this is actually energy output of the coil versus dwell time. And you'll see the green is like a regular IGN1A, and you can see these kind of, like say your 3 milliseconds is 50 millijoules, which is actually a lot, but we're not running bitch numbers like that. So where we're going to be running the coils, which is more like at 8, instead of getting 160, we'd be getting basically 200. So way more output. So that's why we're running them. Here's some other graph. What is this? Output voltage. Yes, you can see the voltage is slightly better. What is this? Primary current draw. So according to this, they draw less current. Not sure how they can draw less current and have more output. That's interesting. But anyway, that's not this video. I just thought I'd show you that because I thought it was cool. So this video is about the bracket. But like we said, we got to put these coils, we want them to bolt up. So those two mounting holes that we saw, that's going to go in these holes right here. And so this will put the coils like 1, 2, 3, 4 across the firewall. And that's what we were wanting. I kind of like how that looks. Just when you pop the hood, you can see all the coils. And there's a huge pro to doing it this way. There's a downside. There's kind of like a big downside and a big pro to doing it this way. So what a lot of people do with these coils is they build some type of bracket that looks cool. They're kind of compact, but there's a couple big downsides. What they end up doing is they bolt all the coils to each other. Like the bracket and the coils become one, but they're put together in a way to where, like, say one of your coil packs goes bad, you can't just unbolt that coil pack. The whole assembly is like put together with bolts. So it's like a rotary engine. If you've ever seen a rotary motor, they have all the like rotors and the housings between them, and they have these big bolts that go all the way through the motor. And if you want to change one part, you got to rip the whole thing apart. That's how a lot of people do these coils, and I didn't like that. I wanted them to be more like this, where I could have like one coil, two, three, four, and then you can always access and change them whenever you need to, or whatever. And I think it looks better. It gives you better heat dissipation. Just a lot of benefits. So we decided, hey, we're probably going to do it that way. And we kind of bounced a couple ideas. I was going to make it thin and then do threaded inserts and blah, blah, blah. This is a simple bracket, so let's try not to go on about that. But if we figured if we make them 1/4 inch thick, then we could just have the holes laser cut tap drill size, thread the holes 1/4 20, pop a bolt in it, and we won't have to deal with inserts. So that's nice. These are just 1/4 inch. These are .201, which is tap drill size for 1/4 20. Uh, and that's kind of about it. We got our lightweighting holes. The only thing I'll mention is that the coils, if we go back to that picture, yeah, so if you look at the coils, you'll see that these mounting tabs are kind of in the center of the coil. There's a space to either side. So we will have to cut some spacers, but it's actually pretty easy. We'll just buy some like aluminum tubing and cut them to length. And that'll be pretty straightforward. So you just run a bolt through here. There'll be a piece of tubing for the spacer, and the bolt threads right into the bracket. So pretty straightforward. I think this is going to work out good. And I'm also hoping that, just as from a business standpoint, I was like, hey, if I need this bracket, maybe somebody else does. So I got one extra bracket made, and I'll throw it on my eBay store, see if anybody buys it. If there's ever any demand, I might make a few of these. Frankly, they're not really. This part should not cost a lot of money, but for some reason, I feel like I'm getting ripped off on the laser cutting. I don't know. Seems like this part should be a lot cheaper than what they charged me. But nonetheless, if there's a market, I'll try to sell these. Probably won't make any money, but you know, it helps people and make a little money. So anyway, cool little bracket. Keep this one short, but I think it's going to look cool. And at the time of filming, I've already ordered the bracket and it's in manufacturing. So I've got videos coming out. By the time you guys watch this, I've already had over a week's worth of videos released. So maybe by the time you see this one tomorrow, you'll get to see the real parts. Let's hope that works out. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this, and until next time, y'all take it easy.